Hi everyone, welcome to the strongest build of the game, Evade Rake. This build is just the strongest, it's good for speed farming, it's good for pit pushing, it can literally do anything, as you can see here. This is a pit 180 clear that I just got like a few hours ago. First of all, I would like to do a big shout out to my amazing teammate. I collaborated with them for this build. That would not have been possible without them. Big shout out to Justin Fan, like Insane Fury Crafter on Bob and Spiritborn. Also, Jerry here that did a clear 100 early A2. We also got Masa. I linked the clear on the planner. They did insane clear. We did a lot of testing, and Sherry shared a lot of stuff to be allowed to make this happen. So yeah, definitely check them out if you can. As you can see, this build is pretty squishy. You can get one shot. But this is the pit pushing version. It's a bit different on the end game version that I'm going to focus on today. As you can see, it's the strongest build on the leaderboard. Most of the top clear are from Spiritborn. We also got our teammate DMC on Druid and Lemona here. Big shout out to them. Druid, if you need to check, if you want to see some stuff on Druid, definitely check them out. I also got a planner for Pulverize. On the Sorcerer, we got a Hydra clear, Pit 124. He didn't post the video yet, but if you want video about Hydra, let me know in the comment section. I can do more stuff on Sorcerer if you need. But yeah, today we're going to focus on Spiritborn, and we're going to focus on the endgame one. And we will start this video by doing a quick pit showcase. I will do a pit 120. It should take about, let's say, 2 to 3 minutes. It depends on the layout. It's going to depend on your gear. But when you get the Chaos Armor for this build, you will be allowed to destroy pit 100, pit 110 with like very bad gear. I have pretty good gear right now, so we're going to do pit 120. Just so you have a little idea of what this build looks like, how it plays. The gameplay of this build is very similar to Evade. You're just gonna have to press reg between your evades. You can press shift. If you don't press shift, it's gonna look for a target. So definitely, I will explain that in the skill rotation after the showcase. But pressing shift is gonna help a lot. So basically, this build is just evading, pressing rake, pressing off cooldown skill, armored hide and scourge. You don't need to press counter attack. You can press counter attack from time to time if you feel like you're gonna die, but it's not necessary. Then you get the protector here. Protector gonna pull enemies together, and that's gonna increase your damage by a lot. As you can see, that just pull them together and increase your damage thanks to the chaos unique that I'm gonna show a little bit after. But yeah, this layout is one of the worst. When you wanna pit push, when you wanna speed farm, this layout is literally the worst. Maybe not, I mean, I don't know. It's one of the worst for sure. I hate this layout. You often have to backtrack. It's very annoying, and I don't think anyone that do some pit pushing or even speed farming like that. As we can see, just evading and pressing reg, like hitting everything off screen. I really like the VFX on this build. Like seeing those reg hitting everything off screen is very satisfying to me. It's one of the funnest builds I've played, I think, this season, with ball lining that I made a full video about it. But yeah, as you can see, like this, the cooldown shrine. This build is hitting for like quadrillion already on pit pushing. Like the number are crazy. I don't know what's the highest number we've done here so far, but I think the highest I've seen is probably 3 quadrillion on some testing pit pushing. But yeah, as you can see, around 2 to 3 minutes, I had a very bad layout at the beginning. And the boss should not last very long, I would say. How long to kill it? This is lasting a bit. He usually die faster. But yeah, that was speed 120, very chill, very easy to play. So I will do a quick overview of this build and how things work. There are a lot of information, so I will try to go straight to the point and make it as easy as possible to understand, because there are a lot of synergies. So Rake, you're gonna synergize with Kepeleke. Kepeleke says your core skill are now additionally basic skill and free to cast. That's very important. When cast at maximum vigor, your core skill gonna consume all your vigor and like make them large size, and also they're gonna guarantee critical strike and you're gonna deal more damage for each point of vigor you spend. So very important to get a lot of vigor, and as you can see, the big size are coming from Kepeleke. So this is the first thing. Kepeleke turn your Rake into a basic skill. Now Chaos perk, you got Unstable Power. It says that your basic skill is gonna make them guaranteed critical strike and overpower for 100x increased damage. Rake is now a basic skill, so it benefits from that. As you can see, it has a big cooldown here, but as you've seen in the showcase that we just made, Rake has no cooldown. That's where from Combined Strike, your basic skill, third attack reset the cooldown on your core skill. So every time you're gonna like use your basic skill, Thunder Spike 3 times, it's gonna reset the cooldown on your Rake. But as you can see, every time you evade, between each evade, you can cast your Rake again. That's where comes Sepazantec. Your basic skill gonna deal increased damage, and also gonna work for Rake because it's a basic core skill. But it also says, and always use the third attack. Means that every time you cast a Thunder Spike, it's gonna use the third attack. And if you use your third attack, it's gonna reset the cooldown on your Rake. Now you might wonder why I don't press Thunder Spike and I only press Evade. Well, that's because of this Accelerated Thunder Spike. When you evade, you're gonna attack with your Thunder Spike. As you can see, you evade, it's gonna cast a Thunder Spike. But with Sepazantec, it's always gonna use the third attack. If you use the third attack, it's gonna reset the cooldown of your Rake. That way, you can press Rake, evade, reset the cooldown on your Rake, and press Rake again. And that's how basically the build works. You also can perma evade thanks to Sepazantec, because it's always first cast of the basic skill, and your third attack it says gonna deal more damage, and it also gonna reduce your evade cooldown by 5 seconds. That way you can perma evade, and then you can evade, Rake, then press Armor with High, Scorch or cooldown, and Protector to pull enemy together when needed. And yeah, so for the potion Incenses, I'm using Resourcefulness. That's gonna give you more vigor because of Kepeleke. If you got more vigor, you're gonna deal more damage. Then we're gonna have Dexterity. You're gonna have Armor. If you have more armor, you deal more damage thanks to Healing Hits, and Switching Spice also to get more resistance to all element and armor. So the gear requirement for this build is very important. You're gonna need 4 Chaos Armor. You can't play this build without those 4 Chaos Armor. You're gonna need Kepeleke, Sepazantec, Ebewaka, and Esha e Tesungi. You really need these 4 unique. I mean, those, yeah, in Chaos version, unique. Otherwise, this build doesn't function well. As I explained earlier, there are a lot of synergy between them. You can live without Fist of Fates. I put some variant here. If you don't have Fist of Fate, for example, and you have Sepazantec on the helm, you can use a regular glove. Yeah, they are the stat. Like for example, if you don't have the helm, you can also use Harlequin Crest. But this setup from our testing is one of the best. But yeah, that's the gear requirement. So for the gear that I use, we're gonna check it. So for me, I use Fist of Fate. The two important GA gonna be Lucky Hit Chance and Lucky Hit Chance to make enemy vulnerable for 3 seconds. only 2 GA are needed. Critical strike chance useless, attack speed useless. You always crit anyway, so you need 2 of them. Making enemy vulnerable are very, very, very important. It's one of the most important things. If you have Fist of Fate, you have Lucky Hint to make them vulnerable. If you don't use Fist of Fate, you're gonna use regular glove, and the regular glove gonna use Hacker's Touch. Hacker's Touch is gonna make them vulnerable. Finally, if you use Harlequin Crest, and you're not gonna have a source of vulnerable, so you're gonna have to remove maximum life here and use Lucky Hit chance to apply vulnerable. That's very important. We're gonna see that in the skill tree a little bit later. But yeah, let's keep going. On the rune, we're gonna use Poke and Quacks. You spend all the time your maximum resources, as you can see in your showcase. It's coming back, pressing drag all the time, so that's gonna give you double damage every time it procs. That's a lot of damage. That's why we are using that. Our resource always spent at 100% and coming back very quickly. So Poke and Quacks. Then Harmony of Ebewaka that I got here. On the GA, you can have either all stat or damage rejection. Masterwork, up to you. All stat or damage rejection, doesn't really matter. I like all stat to get very little more damage, but I would recommend damage rejection. I just like very damage oriented setup, but I would recommend Masterwork everything in damage rejection and get GA in there. On the gem, we get Dexterity again for more damage. On the glove, I got Sepazantec. The only GA that matters is going to be chance for basic skill to deal double damage. Keep in mind, Rake is now also basic skill, so very important. Triple Masterwork on it. On the pants, I have Eshai Kesungi. The 2 most important GA going to be Gorilla skill first. Second, going to be ultimate cooldown. Because if you're able to spam the protector, your ultimate on the boss, that's gonna give you a lot of damage. It doesn't matter too much on speed farming, so you can just get GA on Gorilla skill is the most important one. Masterwork everything on Gorilla if you can. Second most important GA is cooldown. And yeah, this Chaos Unique is very important. It's gonna increase your damage. Like, it's gonna pull enemies together, give you 60% increased damage for your Gorilla skill. Rake is also a Gorilla skill, and it's double against boss or knockdown enemies. They are knocked down because of Paragon. I'm gonna show that a little bit later. On the gem is gonna be Dexterity. Then on the boots I have Kepeleke. So for the Masterwork, it's gonna depend on your setup. Chant for core skill to hit twice. You wanna have 100% with your weapon. On mine, I got 74%. If you got Max Temper, you can Master Weak twice and get once on the resource cost reduction. That's gonna depend on the gear, like how good the gear is. For me, I had to Master Weak core skill to hit twice 2 times, and this one 3 times. If you got GA on this one, you might not need to Masterwork it. You might need to Masterwork it once. But in any case, the most important one to Masterwork is maximum resource after chance for core skill to hit twice. And yeah, so that's gonna depend on your setup. If you can get 2 GA, it's gonna be maximum resource and core skill to hit twice. The other one doesn't matter. On your weapon, you wanna have Dexterity, resource cost reduction. Resource cost reduction is another damage multiplier that's gonna work with Rod of Kepeleke. It's just gonna give you more damage and synergize with Rod of Kepeleke that consume all your vigor. So resource cost reduction, another multiplier that give you a lot of damage, and you got Dexterity, you got Life for more toughness, overpower damage, some more additive damage because you constantly overpower, then chance for Rake to hit twice. If you can have a high roll, you might just have to Masterwork it twice and once here, and then the last Masterwork can go to resource cost reduction. The aspect gonna be Wild Claw. Wild Claw gonna just give more damage to your Rake and cast another break at the random enemy. That's why you see like so many break, very cool visual on the screen, hitting everything. On the rune words, it's gonna be Sam and Lum. you constantly evade on this build, so Sam gonna help you keep your vigor up all the time. If you got your vigor up all the time, you're gonna proc Tepeleke all the time, you're gonna proc Quack, so that's like very important. I use Sam and Lum. On the amulet, you're gonna have Dex, Armor, and Potent. The two most important GA gonna be Dex and Potent. If you can have it, it's cool. Masterwork, most important is everything on Potent. The temper gonna be armor, resource cost, rejection, and the aspect gonna be aspect of adaptability. That's gonna scale also of your primary resource. And remember again, Rake is also a basic skill. That's why Vigor is important to have. But yeah, adaptability, the true ring should be about the same. You wanna have Dex, maximum life for resistance to all elements depend on your resistances. Like for example, I should put another diamond here. So I am capped on my all resistances, but you can also remove a maximum life and get all resistances. I just like to have the 3GA looks better. Then dexterity, max life, resource cost rejection, temper, resource cost rejection, and overpower damage. You want to masterwork everything on the temper resource cost rejection. It has higher value than the regular resource cost rejection. If you can't just get a mix of both, I did. Aspect gonna be redirected force. You have 100% chance to block here. And yeah, that's just gonna give you more damage. Second ring, roughly the same. But the masterwork gonna be everything on the protector cooldown. You wanna have it as high as possible. As I explained earlier, this is very important on the boss. It matters less on speed farming when you have a lot of monster because you just one-shot everything, but that's gonna be very important if you wanna go higher in the pits. The temper and the stats are gonna be the same explanation as the previous ring, and you have annihilating hits. That's why this one is very important when you cast a gorilla skill. Rake is also gorilla, this is gorilla. It's gonna increase your weapon damage by 30% of your armor for 3 seconds, maximum 1500 bonus weapon damage. In theory, that's around 5,000, which we can't really reach, but anything around 3,000 is more than fine. I was playing Skull because I want more damage. I have this, I can get one shot, but I like to have damage. I would not recommend you to do that, but if you have around 3,000 armor, that's gonna be more than enough. And yeah, that's for the gear. You are constantly overpowered, as I said earlier, because of this rune unstable power. Next, let's check the skill tree. Skill tree very basic. You need to unlock this node. That's gonna also make enemy vulnerable. That's help a lot. We got Rake, gonna get all the pawn in Rake. Your cooldown get reduced also because of advantageous Rake. You get like some nodes here to deal more damage here. You got also more damage. All those nodes are usually like utility. This is gonna give you more damage when you have unstoppable with arm or height, for example. This one's gonna give you more lucky chance to make enemy vulnerable, very important. You got Apex here, that's gonna help you deal more damage. This is some defensive node because you still need to not die. You got the armor red hide here. That's also gonna give you some thorns. Counter attack here. Counter attack here is mostly taken for this. That's gonna give you 30% more damage. So if you have a boss with arts, it's gonna be better. You can press it if you feel like you're gonna die, but you should not need to press it a lot. You still need to not constantly press it because you need to block to have the double bonus from redirected force. Then you have Scourge that's gonna increase the damage that you deal against crowd control enemy up to 50%. This is gonna help you to survive here. You got those nodes that gonna increase your damage. Here, Potent. Rake is a Jaguar skill that give you more damage here. Fun Race. Protector here. Very useful to pull enemy. We don't use Vortex anymore. Thanks to this. I forgot this. This is also just give you more damage because Rake is also an eagle. And here, this is just more damage. This give you more vigor. Vigor help you with Kepeleke. Also, this give you also more damage. I mean, and why this is vulnerable is very important is because Vital Strike increase your damage by 100% against vulnerable enemy. But every time you're gonna hit them, it's gonna remove the vulnerable. So you need to constantly apply vulnerable. You're gonna hit them vulnerable with Rake, and then you're gonna evade, make them vulnerable again. Thanks to this, thanks to Fist of Fate, thanks to focal point, but you need to make your enemy vulnerable all the time. You're gonna press Rake, you're gonna evade, you're gonna make them vulnerable again. That way you're gonna have a lot of damage from this. You also heal. You're gonna get your vigor back from Vital Strike. It's gonna generate 10 vigor, and you're also gonna heal yourself to survive. So yeah, that was the skill tree. The Chaos perk that we already see earlier on the build overview. You're gonna use Unstable Power, like Synergize with Combined Strike. That's gonna deal more damage. That's gonna give you perma overpower. Back off is just gonna give you more damage. And you got the Round of the Brains. That's gonna give you more life, more healing, and 125x overpower damage. And you're constantly overpowered. You lose some maximum resistances, and your damage reduction from armor is capped. We get the damage at all that matter. We get the damage, we can survive. So we take this. On the next patch, they're gonna have a fix about Beast Corner. We'll try to see if we're gonna use that, but for the moment we're gonna use Brown over Brain. So just follow the planner, whatever is in the planner. I constantly update the planner. The planner is always right. What I'm playing here is what we think is the best for the moment. But yeah, always follow the planner. Then our Mercenary, I use right here. With right here Aegis, that's gonna give you 15 resistance to all elements. Very important to cap your resistance to all elements. You don't need to cap your armor because we're already focusing on your armor. Second Mercenary, I use Alkins with Field of Languish to reduce just the incoming damage. You can just put that on something else, probably, no, injured. Like, you can put that on whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. I have it when I'm injured, but I can put that probably when I cast the Protector, putting all the enemies together, and they're gonna hit me. So it doesn't really matter. Just put it on whatever you want. Paragon Board now. Paragon Board is pretty important. Firstly, we got a Wildfire. Wildfire is very important. In addition to give you more damage, it says lucky hit. Damaging enemy with direct fire damage has up to 30% chance to reduce one of your active cooldown by 0.5 seconds. That's synergized with your advantageous Rake, and that's going to allow you to have a very good uptime on all your cooldown. That's why this glyph is very important, so don't forget to put that glyph. Otherwise, things might not work if you forget that glyph. Then we got sapping here. Just damage, vigor increase. Menageries, that's gonna give you fairly free maximum resource because of Word of Kepeleke. If you have more resource, you deal more damage here. I forgot the order of the Paragon, but in the planner is detailed, like if this one is 3, 4, or 5, so just follow on the planner. Here we got Revealing. This one's gonna allow you to knock down vulnerable enemy. Enemy should be always vulnerable. That's gonna synergize with your pants here. Double while they are knocked down, so 120%. There was also another note here with Dominant here. That's gonna increase your damage by 50%. So don't forget this legendary node, very important. You might miss a lot of damage if you don't take it. Then we got Revenge here. Revenge here also get more damage. You are dealing Thorns damage, so we take Revenge here. Then here we got Drive. You are always moving, so you get 60%. This build constantly evade, so it's pretty easy to get to stack 10 times. Then we got Kane here to get more damage here again. And finally, Convergence also. That's gonna buff your damage. I'm missing like 0.4%. I will check later how to get. Anyway, then Spirit here to get more damage here. For the Spirit roll, we get Gorilla. You get the fonts from your Gorilla main. If you got your main Spirit roll Gorilla, that's gonna give you fonts damage. Fonts damage, you need the fonts damage or Revenge up to 15%. Dealing fonts damage to an enemy increase all damage it takes from you by 1% up to 50% for 10 seconds. So this one here, very important to have. Don't mess up with your Spirit roll. Gorilla first, also gonna give you a shield. As you can see, we have a shield here, like a bigger barrier. Otherwise, we have to use another rune, like the Bulwark rune from the Druid. But yeah, Gorilla, all your skill are now Gorilla. That's why Rake is also Gorilla. And have a second one. We're gonna use Eagle. Every other cast is guaranteed critical strike that grants you 20% vulnerable damage bonus for 5 seconds. And also your Rake is gonna become Eagle. Thanks to Ebewaka here. Ebewaka here. Gonna turn your Rake skill into an Eagle 1. And your skill deal also 38% increased damage per spirit type they have. And this one have 3 type. That's why this one is very important to have. You need those 4 chaos. You need to make it work. This one, Ebewaka, Sebazontek, Esha, and Rod of Kepeleke. That's why it's in the gear requirement. And it's like super important. I think I said everything pretty much. This is the skill bar. I think I explained it in the during the showcase, but yeah. Press Armor Red Hide of cooldown, Scorch of cooldown. This doesn't need to be pressed unless you think you're gonna die. You can press it. It's gonna help you with toughness. Thinking of it probably now. Put this on when you press counter attack, so you can do that. Break your main source of damage. And Gorilla here to pull enemy. And yeah, I think that should be about it. The planner should be updated. It's not exactly the same, like you can just do your own thing as I explained earlier. Always follow the planner, everything gonna be up to date. There's gonna be a patch for Abyss Corner, so it might be better, it might not be better. So don't forget to favorite the build, so you're gonna be you're gonna have notification when I make updates. For the next video, let me know what you want to see. It can be a pit pushing version. I can update the pit pushing version, the setup that allowed me to get 138. I can do more Sorcerer Hydra, Hydra pit pushing. I can do Ball Lightning, speed farming Glyph on pits 100. Let me know what you want to see. I really don't mind too much. It can be like anything. On Hydra here, I have the speed farming here, speed farming Glyph here that we can also do. So let me know in the comment section. I guess that's it for me today. Don't forget to leave me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you soon for the next video.